It's another episode of Poker Time. 5-10, often 20, cash.
You see Caremio just look at the camera like Jim from The Office?
I did
like,
see
do
that.
you believe these guys?
I definitely saw that.
We need a fourth wall breaker.
So Dan Ross is opening with 2 cards of some sort or another, and Kent is calling in a hijack with King 8 of Hearts.
The destroyer of worlds.
Just some ugly hands.
Yep. I mean, King 8 of Hearts is suited. Very suited.
Jack 6 of Spades is suited. But Ace 5 for wheel is looking tasty.
Unless Dan Ross has the wheel. Am I right?
Yeah, 4 deuce. That's a classic Portland hand that people like to play.
And Dan does bet into 3 opponents on this board, so you'd expect he has a pretty good ace most of the time, or better.
Yep, or a flush draw or something.
Yep, maybe a nut flush draw.
Wheel's going for the raise right away. I like it.
225 fold.
If Dan does not fold, he's got one of those hands I was talking about.
Probably has ace king or something like
Maybe a flush draw.
Yep.
That almost never changes anything unless Dan somehow has ace 8.
Let's see how much wheel bets here. I think like 400 would be a reasonable. About half pot.
I don't see how you can get away from a big ace if you're Dan here.
Now with the diamonds, and Dan agrees.
Cool.
The river is another 3. That should feel very safe from Wheel's point of view.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it would change much.
And Dan as well.
Check.
Wheel just flips it over and checks it back, and Dan is almost certainly going to lose.
We're never going to know what he had there.
Feels like ace king.
Could have been a diamond draw also that just never decided to play aggressively.
I don't know that he's going to... I mean, check calling the diamond draw on the turn. Unlikely.
Yeah.
Out of position for half pot. There it is. It's ace 9 for... Oh, with diamonds. Nope,
Oh, wow.
that's impossible. That's the ace of diamonds in
Oh,
both
yeah.
spots.
So that's
Do
not
not
what-
believe the man behind the
It's a
curtain.
lie.
60.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
There goes my golden shell.
That's a reference to what movie?
The Wizard of Oz.
That's
you
right.
Gotta give me a gold.
I'll give you a golden shell.
If Dan Ross had a big ace of any kind, maybe it was just a different ace 9. I don't know if we can get called. Probably didn't have the 9 of diamonds either,
Yeah.
right?
No way.
Don't know.
We were at Beaver.
It seems unlikely he would open ace 9 off.
Yep, all these things make no sense.
That's supposed to mean something.
The interns are working
Okay,
this
I
out.
believe you now. You were in Beaver.
Way to go, you guys broke Josh.
If you remember last episode, the King of Spades was having some trouble getting picked up by the reader. And they said they're going to change that out at the break, which is going to be actually during this session, this episode. So that'll change. But if that's true, then Dan may have had ace king with the King of Spades.
Yeah.
Well, we
Looks like we've got a straddle on the button from Mike.
You used to do that to
Oh
people?
yeah, in the showers,
Raise
somebody
to
holds them and then
85,
everyone pees on them.
What?
That's
Gold.
insane.
What?
Danny's good for a raise to 85.
Generational trauma, bro.
And I don't think Mike will be folding.
No,
It was the golden shower.
You are
This
correct.
is not good.
That's disgusting.
Really?
why would you do that?
Yeah, that's not good,
That's
man.
messed up.
I'm not judging you for doing it. I'm saying that's like not a good thing, though. That's not
Nice
bad.
clean
Well,
top
no,
pair for Mike.
We learned
Yeah,
that
good.
it wasn't good
Good.
later in life.
Danny with his 2 back
You
doors.
don't-
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't still do it,
6 of spades back door.
I mean, you know, whatever.
Would be no
Well,
good
no,
in
I'm
this
out of high
case.
school now.
This
So
wasn't part of your punishment to your children when they were growing up?
Note to self: never be in a locker room with a wheel.
Cool.
Don't invite
That's
me to
a
play
card.
racquetball or
Danny
whatever.
always gets something, right?
What a turn card for Danny. He checks.
That's interesting.
Is he checking a call?
You'd think you'd want to get Mike off some weaker spade draws.
He might be checking a check raise?
Danny is capable of anything.
Mike likes to bet.
150.
Definitely reasonable to protect your hand here.
Look how small he bet.
That's just protecting against the random hands at this point. The king 4 suited that's not hearts or diamonds
Right.
type hands.
Well, Danny can just call now. He doesn't have to put in a raise if he doesn't want to, but it looks like he wants to.
It's Danny. He wants to.
It's understandable. When Mike bets this small.
465.
And Danny's a scary guy to play against because he could have almost any of the 2 pair combos on the board here.
He can have 9-10 easily as well.
Yep.
He can have... I don't know if he can have over pairs. playing it this way. Although when the bet is that small, maybe he can.
He might be able to, yeah.
Maybe he can. I mean, if he can have over pairs, then maybe he could even have ace jack.
You can have all the draws.
But guess what? You just can't fold to Danny when you've got top pair in this spot, can you?
He really punishes you for equity protection bets like Mike did there.
Yeah. Mike's realizing probably partially that if he's going to call now, he may have to call a big bet on the river.
And it might be a really big bet.
Yep.
Danny puts in a lot of chips a lot of the time.
Danny absolutely could, you know, put Mike to the test for all his chips on the river. And so to be thinking about that now. Still, this hand's pretty good. And he looks like he is going to make the call.
All right.
It's
Sticking to it.
uncomfortable.
It's the right thing to do against Danny, but that's not a good card.
Oh. Danny has the 9 of hearts in his hand, too, which blocks hearts a little bit. There you go, 1,100. I love this bet by Danny. I just love it. What's Mike supposed to do with that?
Danny's a guy who also could very well have 2 pair and be going for value at this size. So it's not just flushes.
Yep, 9-10 continues to be there. Danny, of course, blocking that, which is probably part of what emboldened him to raise the turn.
Yeah, he blocks both things with the 9 of hearts.
This would be Mike would really have to dig in deep to make a call there. I don't blame him at all for finding a fold, and Danny just makes it happen, man.
Danny finds wins where no others can.
Great job. That's a great hand.
Yeah. That should be a YouTube short someday.
Yep. Maybe it will.
Yeah.
Maybe it will. Someday. Creamio's going to straddle the button. Oh, it's so tough for Mike. Well, if Mike can either bet a normal size, he might get to win the turn. Well, not win the turn, but he might get to win the pot. Or if he can just check
I'm going
back
to get
the
everybody a
turn,
round of drinks if
he's
anybody
often
wants
gonna win the
anything.
pot.
I'm going to get a Crown and Coke.
Maybe it's a lesson to
Crown on
play
the rocks.
a little bit less equity denial, a little bit more pot control against Danny.
Yeah, maybe.
Folds? Sure.
K6 calling out of the small blind on the button straddle with queen deuce
It's
suited.
brilliant when Ken has got 10-9 of hearts.
Of course. And Danny has his favorite hand,
There's a shot, right?
the 6-4. He loves it.
He
It's really
does.
good.
Anybody else?
Oh, it's a shot. A shot of what?
Nobody else wants anything? Water? Josh, you want anything?
Um,
Red Bull for Josh?
Danny got a bluff through, and now he's buying everybody drinks.
Fair enough. He's buying everyone drinks out of Mike's money.
Yep.
Mike's out of Mike's wallet.
Top shelf tonight.
He's taking food off Mike's table.
Danny's just acting like he's gonna buy the drinks, and he's just gonna be like, Mike, give her your card. Give her your card, Mike.
If you give me your card, I'll bluff you less later. So it's sort of the same thing anyway.
I didn't know there was a table apparently.
Oh, really?
All right.
Well, we've got Ken's hand, and then we have other hands
But not all the time.
as far as playability. And that is not a good flop for Ken's hand or the other hands.
Everybody misses.
That means Danny wins.
I would assume Danny's going to continue on this board a lot. but
Nope.
He does not.
He does slow down sometimes.
If you'll lick it
He picks up a gut shot, but
One under for Ken,
Yep.
who should bet this.
Oh, I missed Will.
and will. And will probably just win unless Danny gets real squirrely. It's full pot from Ken.
I can't imagine Danny's going to do anything but fold here. This has to be a fold, right?
Yeah, Ken can have 2 pair. Ken can have a strong ace.
Yeah.
Our traditions are
And Danny is
Wow.
not folding. He is calling.
He's got position. He thinks maybe he can steal it on the river a lot.
He's going to
He
have an
might be able
opportunity
to.
a lot of the time here.
Ken does give up a fair amount.
Oh,
Not on that card.
Not when he makes the second nuts.
Let's see if... Did Ken check? Was that a check?
No.
Oh, okay. I saw his hand. the
If we
hand
could
move up
tell
for a
Ken what to
second.
do, it would be check.
Yeah. Let's see how much he bets. 325.
Can you beat 6 high?
Yeah,
Okay.
I got it straight.
Nice.
And he was really hoping Ken was going to give up on the river, but not on that card. Yeah, that may be a profitable call, though, for Danny. Because of the amount of times he gets to win on the river.
If Ken's going to slow down every time that he misses.
Or just most of the time.
Yeah.
Where?
Bato,
And also be afraid of all the flush draws coming in.
Yeah.
Like half the deck is a flush draw coming in.
Where's that?
Yeah.
And if he checks all of those, then he can just
It-
bet
it-
big
you-
and
you
usually
know the
win,
old
right?
Mhm.
Pork Pop chicken place?
Right down division?
No, not that one.
Oh,
Across,
oh, like
across
Killingswood.
from like the Aladdin by Lucky Devil over there.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's a barbecue place now, Botto's, and they have the best brisket I've ever had.
All right.
Did you ever
Wheel
get
with
Holy
the
Trinity?
Yeah,
beautiful ace 10 of clubs. What's your favorite
Holy
suit for
Trinity
ace
is
10
really
suited?
good, but this
Oh, that's a
one's
great question.
Yeah, I know.
I'm really partial to diamonds for ace 10.
I'm a clubs ace 10. I like ace jack of diamonds. I
get that. I can see that.
I think ace queen is hearts and ace king.
Oh, really?
Ace king spades.
Oh, I'm ace queen hearts.
I said ace queen hearts.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm ace queen spades.
And ace king hearts?
Yeah,
Okay.
obviously.
To each their own, you know?
I mean, I feel like there's a
How
pretty
often
clear
do you
intrinsic
do
answer that is
I
correct,
used to make
but
it very
you have
often and do it for competitions. But
intrinsic
The most
answer.
obvious one to me is ace jack of diamonds is the best ace jack. That's just
Where
very
were you
clear
in
to me.
competition?
Yeah.
Oregon?
Spades is if
Yeah?
spades is always a pretty good
You got
suit to
some,
lean
like,
on though.
trophies and shit?
If you want to,
Yeah,
you know,
right on.
just be a square.
I think that the thing that was most
Okay,
fun is
Poindexter.
doing this competition with like.
So was that a king high
16
flop, by the way?
Yeah, king 7-5 there.
Yeah.
That's an open ender for Ken.
And it's
the
top pair
first
for
day
Dan Ross, who
before
ain't
actual
gonna
tournament
fold yet.
competition, we had
I guess the king of spades can get read by the middle, or maybe our lovely interns put it in. We don't know.
I don't know.
Hey, there's the nuts for Ken.
Well, this is not great
It is
for Dan
the
Ross.
it is the most obvious draw at least. So maybe that will help Dan Ross make some correct decisions down the line here.
Ken is absolutely capable of just betting a worse king though
so
twice.
the
Yep, I think Dan has to call one more time, but it is not a good card because, as I said, the most obvious draw comes in.
We're almost hoping for a scare card, I think, as Dan Ross to let it go check and just find out if we win for cheap.
That's a scare card.
Yep, that's a good one. If we get another bet now, we might be able to find a fold pretty comfortably.
All wood fired or everything?
Yeah, it's a mix of charcoal and wood.
But no,
Is he
yeah,
thinking about
like
leading?
everybody out there is
No
like
gas.
doing proper. Yeah.
Maybe a really small blocker bet.
So
No.
you bring all
think
your
that's what
own
he was
wood,
thinking
you bring
about.
all your own, like, whatever,
Oh, and
your gear, your truck.
Ken is
Fucking cool, dude.
Unafraid.
Dude, what I would
I
give
think
to
it's
spend a day
probably
out there
time
would
to
be
let it
so
go.
fun.
Yeah,
That's
me
just
too.
you in your element.
It's fun to go
I mean, you
to 'em
can
too. Like,
beat
there's,
a couple draws,
there's ones that
but they're
milk
gut
us every year and
shots.
another one.
Ken has to have not
Yeah,
given up
I bet.
and kept firing. He's
There-
not
there's sort of like
generally
stuff
going to
that
do
they're
that.
on over there.
Is Ken ever betting king
poker
10
there?
for value like this? I don't think very often when the 5 of diamonds comes in on the river. I think we can fold
There's
comfortably
small,
here.
Small culture things
I
like
guess you can beat
you
4-6
get
also,
the
but
vibe of, like,
I
you
don't
get the whole,
see
like,
Ken
vibe
playing
together and
4-6
everything,
this
kinda
way
like
too
they're, like,
frequently.
we're here to do something,
Yeah.
you know, it's something cool
It's
about
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
me
great.
either.
that. So what'd you do for Chef's Choice?
Ken just doesn't have a whole lot of triple
did
barrels in him,
shrimp
so
and
I don't know if Dan knows
grits, and
that.
the thing that we lost to, it was
Obviously,
like
all you can beat is a
simple
pure
biscuit
bluff
noodle.
here.
Yeah.
There's one shrimp in a
It's like
barbecue
8,
sauce or
9,
like
4,
a,
6.
little grit patty.
Uh-huh.
And
6-9.
Like a like you made your own and then
I
maybe
guess.
patty.
smoke the shrimp and then made
Like
He
a
also
full
bet
kinda
into
like
like 4
grilled or
players
whatever
or three
barbecue.
opponents,
cooked it
which
down so
I
it was
don't know
more
if
like a
6-9's even
pork
doing
belly.
that.
Made him into little cakes.
It's Ken, it's not Danny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. Then, like people were turning all sorts of crazy shit.
It's always easier when you can see the cards, though, I have to say.
Crown
We've
roast.
all been in
There's-
Dan Ross's seat, right?
Especially if you haven't made a hand for a while and you
Yep.
make top pair and you're like, this feels like a hand I'm supposed to win. You know,
Yeah.
it makes it a lot harder to
In
fold.
barbecue outside like on the weekend.
Yep.
Dude,
Creamy
that's
on
good.
Like-
that-
It's also where you're like on the turn, you're like, all right, I'll call this one, and my plan is to fold to like most river bets, and then you get there and you're like, I mean, am I really gonna throw this?
Am I actually gonna fold though? What if I want to see what he has?
What if I were to win sometimes?
I really enjoy cooking too.
Yeah.
Getting less than 3 to 1. Dan's used up a bunch of time extensions here, so he's really seriously thinking about this.
Like
Yeah,
every
those
other
are
asshole on the
finite.
planet, I spent a bunch of time making bread during the pandemic.
I think if Dan is being pretty
And,
tight in these spots,
I got.
but
Oh.
he makes the call.
He's gonna regret that one,
I
I
wanted
think.
a baguette
Yep.
that you wouldn't know you didn't just spend $5 at
It's like, oh yeah, kind of one of the more obvious ones. The set is the other obvious one, right? Like
Yeah.
2 7s or
Are you good at making baguettes? I've only made baguettes.
2
Like
7s, or I
2 or
guess
3
the
times.
quad 5s are
A
the
lot of
obvious
fun. They're a lot of
other
work.
ones.
It's my favorite bread to bake, and like I did.
Ken
it
gets
enough times
fully
in the pandemic, now
paid.
I'm like-
What a
I'm like,
deal.
give me one trial, and then the next batch.
Planets
2 days
better look
later,
out, man. He's back.
I can
Yeah.
make a baguette that
He's hungry.
you swear you bought it at a. I'll show you some pictures later when we get our phone.
Nice.
Yeah, like huge.
He's basically
open
Pac-Man.
crumb, Beautiful.
He's up.
Like,
The same as Wheel. The
Yeah,
two big
it's-
winners, Ken and Wheel, the
it's
throwbacks.
Ooh, Dan Ross getting slammed right now, but it's still early.
He is being slain.
I'd make a lot of.
Still very early. They've only been playing for about an
like,
hour.
sort of like, you know,
Got another,
size,
what,
So that
3 hours
that
of
feels
play.
extra good if
String
you've
around
only
and
been
give
playing
him
for an hour and you're down
like
2K.
$2K.
Well, he's still got time, though. He's got
Yeah.
time to
I was
make it
giving
back.
bread away to my
It-
family and my wife's family.
Imagine he's running back that hand in his head right now, as I would
That
be,
gets a lot of fun.
thinking of all the reasons
all
to have
kinds of stuff,
folded.
but
Once you know
that's my
what's
jam.
really going on.
Yep.
And then I got into
Reloads, and
enriched
here we
dough,
go.
and I was doing
You get that.
like a braised peach slice brioche desserts and shit like that. It was like a lot of fun.
Brioche
Yeah, it was
talk.
super fun.
Raised to 30, fold.
And then the pandemic started passing. I was like, all right, whatever. Okay.
This could be a 3-bet.
Yep.
Or a call. Both are fine. Looks like a 3-bet.
Yeah,
No,
I think
no,
it plays
good, man.
way better
No,
as a
no.
3-bet
That's
than
the cool
as a
thing about
call.
bread.
Yeah,
man.
suited, I
Fuck
think
the
there's more
fucking
calls
Yep.
there.
Exactly.
There we go.
This might be a 4-bet
What's so cool
from
about
Danny.
bread?
He might recognize Dan Ross as potentially steaming.
This is the time to 4-bet Dan Ross with this hand for sure.
Looks like he's
It's
going to flat.
Interesting. He does flat a lot of hands.
Yeah.
Even a lot of cold 3-bets.
Yeah.
And Wheel might have the king of spades in his hand, but we'll never
Yeah.
know.
We do, I make pizza.
That's
good
the
ones.
nature of the king of spades. It's mystery.
It's mercurial.
Cremio has a super easy call here.
Yep, this is the most standard call in poker.
I've been making pizza during the pandemic. That was fun.
You have it?
Yeah.
Nice.
I made a lot.
How about a pizza?
Cremio with the most equity, but
Really?
hard to hold on if you don't flop a 5.
And that is quite a flop for Danny.
Yep. Not too bad for Dan Ross either.
It's all right.
But Danny really loving it. It's like, there's a reason why I flat these things. Ooh, the jack of anything would be interesting.
Sure would.
No, I don't.
There's a nothing card, and somehow Caremio is still in the
Whoa.
lead.
Danny checks when it checks through. Interesting.
That is quite interesting.
Maybe he's thinking Cremio's got a lot of bets there because Cremio would have checked to the razor.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah,
That's
Cremio
okay.
could have a king or a queen.
So there's no way.
Golden shower.
Dan Ross bets
Danny's-
125.
So, okay.
I'll do a crown later.
Like a third pot. So Danny can't fold, so it's just raise or call. A raise makes a lot of sense here based on the line that
Yeah,
Dan
it's,
Ross is taking, right?
it's a wet flop. You wouldn't expect Dan to check a set or something like that.
No way.
Or ace king. So he's not going to have a very strong hand. The only question is if he's in the mood to fold with any
Right,
like
because
ace
of-
queen type hand.
Because of the deal. Looks like Danny has put in the raise. There it is. You can see it on just the left of Josh's head. Wait, not now. Now. Sort of. Can't see it anymore. It's occluding it. It's like an
Dan
eclipse.
is not going anywhere. He
Whoa.
is making the call with
Look how-
ace 10.
Look how fast he called. He is on tilt.
Or he's got a sick read on Danny.
He
A
maybe-
5 hits the river.
would have won.
Is there any way that Dan Ross can hold on? Because I think Danny's putting it in.
You would expect Danny's just going to move him in for the final 1,000 and see if he can get the full. Have to believe it would work, right? I mean, I can't believe he called so. Danny
he
just checked.
checked.
Oh, what a feeling this is going to be for Dan Ross.
And
Dan Ross just checks it back. He does. I assumed he was going to move in and get the fold and be happy.
He was calling because he thought Danny had a lot of flush draws, I guess.
He
I mean,
was-
you have the 10 of hearts in your hand. That's bad for that.
I mean, you
but
block Jack 10 and the heart draw, but
he was
he was right.
he was right this time.
I mean, what does Danny have? I guess he's thinking on the king queen X, or Danny doesn't have king king or queen queen very often.
He could have king queen.
He could have exactly king queen suited, I guess, that called the 3-bet. Maybe
Yeah.
he can have king
That
queen
was
off.
exactly what I
Just
said.
standing.
Queen on. Queen on.
I didn't think you were calling with ace high.
Wow,
They're
that's a
amazing.
wild hand.
That's a YouTube short.
That is. That's next level. That's definitely next level. Croissant is like a like 7.5, and that shit is like a
Did you guys
11.
drink?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I already drank mine.
I said cheers
thank you.
twice.
Queen on.
You were in the hand.
Yeah, I was.
Korean Mike.
Sorry.
Very, very special dessert.
Dan Ross. Flying high, gets ace 10 again.
They're
He's living the superhero life. It's like the big bully at the table tried to get me and he couldn't get me.
Oh, it feels so good when you're right. Sometimes those calls, though, you get a lot more bad calls in the future. And
Yep.
now, Dan Ross is like a legit player here, so they may not do that there. But it's easy to get caught up in it, you know?
QAnon?
it's QAnon. QAnon.
golden.
And we're back to the Dan Ross winning with Ace-10 show.
I mean, hello.
2 in a row. Second one was a little bit less impactful.
First one was pretty big. Dan Ross has been all over this video.
He's put his stamp on it.
He really has. He's the culture. That's a good nickname.
The culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it sort of like a yogurt culture? You know?
It's exactly like a yogurt culture.
Yeah, but it's also like, the culture of society.
Is there a worse insult than calling somebody the yogurt water? You know, like when you have a big thing of yogurt and you take a little bit out of it and then you go back the next day and there's like a little bit of yogurt water there?
I feel like hot dog water is pretty bad.
Yeah.
Probably worse.
Yeah, it's only like
But all that sort of water types are
Yeah.
pasta water. Those are all pretty mean things.
Pasta
to say.
water's not so bad.
Are you kidding?
Yogurt water is way grosser than pasta water.
Well, pasta water would be pasta water that sat around in the pot for like a few days.
Oh, we
Just-
have very different hygiene in our kitchens, I guess. 'Cause
Yes.
that's not a thing that happens.
What
to
do you
me.
mean? What do you do with it? Do you
you just throw
Do
it
you
out the
drink it,
window.
or-
You throw it out the window.
All right, that's a pair for wheel, and K6 has. what
Maybe
K6
he might have a
has.
flush draw if he has the king of spades.
Yeah. Well, he didn't fold, so he might have a flush draw. Or King Jack.
Yep.
I know you're never calling it ace-10.
Wheel making 2 pair.
I don't know. I mean, it's a pretty
Would be very pleased if K6 had King Jack, and there's the call. The flush draw does not come in.
Wheel still with a pretty strong hand here. Gonna value bet it.
I'll say the hand I was
And we
worried
know that
about.
if
Just
K6 has the king of spades, Wheel is winning.
Please don't let me check back. and
Just
say-
$80. Oh, looks like he's gonna get a call. There it is.
Probably king jack then.
Yeah, you're supposed to see bet flop.
Let's find out if.
I win if you see bet
Pair
flop.
of sixes and threes.
I
Yep,
win if you
feels
see
like
bet flop.
King X anyway. Oh, King Jack, yeah, of course.
I have a pair with a spade draw.
Everybody had the same read in their hand.
Pair
I
with
was
a
saying
spade
about
draw,
it,
he
like,
said.
I
So
lose
there you
by
go,
a
King
bunch
Jack
bluffs, too.
of spades.
Yeah.
No, that's
Makes
okay.
the most
And then I make
sense.
my fucking set on the river.
Oh shit!
Like,
What a flop.
Yeah.
You lose to 6-3.
You
How do
got-
they do that to you?
You got wheeled.
That's going to be a new
My
prank
Bluff
show.
turned
Yeah.
into a real
Hosted by a wheel.
And there's like a freeze frame, and then they slap the title on and says, "You got wheeled."
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
He's going to take you into a diner and order food and be like, that is entirely too much tuna.
No, I think you got wheeled is gonna be like really messed up pranks. It's gonna be like way too far. K6 is playing the Portland Meadows hand, the digital Dan.
Yeah. So, like, he'd, like, take your car when you didn't know you took it and, like, total it and just
Yeah.
put it back in the spot and be like, I don't know what
He's
happened.
like, "You got wheeled."
Oh! It would, like, just laugh and think it's funny, yeah.
He'd open a bunch of credit cards in your name and just tank your credit.
Mm.
You know?
He'd, like, convince your wife you're having multiple affairs.
Yeah, you got wheeled.
And then he finished it actually in the oven. Is that common or cheating or
No, I mean,
I don't know.
I don't think it's terrible. Maybe he just ran out of fire, or like. it's whatever. I don't usually finish. my
K6 with
games
2 back doors.
Yeah,
Gonna make the
I don't
call.
know.
Caremio betting, by the way, with just ace-8.
But he was
Probably not going to be able to. Well, I'm wrong because Caremio's continuing, and that will do it. He did block the nuts, but wow.
There goes that 4-deuce experiment.
You prefer Texas style over like.
It's not fun.
St. Louis and
To lose?
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah, that's
like
correct.
for the main part, that it's like mostly sauce when it comes to.
It's too bad it's a zero-sum game. Actually, less than a zero-sum game if
Texas
there's
has a
rake.
lot of beef.
Um,
I like beef barbecue.
There's no rake in Portland.
No.
So it's just a zero-sum game, but it sucks
And
all
you
the
can really
same.
get,
Yep.
like, a lot of
Why can't we
flavor
all
when
win?
you cook
Why
it,
can't there be
so
many winners?
mostly just use
I mean, there
salt
are,
and
but you know what I mean.
I mean, if you want to everybody to win, just go to a Tony Robbins
you know what we
fucking
discovered
presentation.
Mm.
You know,
was,
we all walk away better.
some of the smoke
I have 4,500 fewer dollars, but I walk away better.
Throw
You
in
know?
baked potatoes.
But you feel you're a winner, right?
Yeah, of course.
So
Have you guys ever had
That's good
smoked
enough.
baked potatoes?
No.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my god, it's easy to do. You know,
Boy,
they
there's so many
control
jokes I
the
want to make
doors
right now, and I'm
smoke.
just letting them all go.
And
You're so
them all
mature.
go.
You're such a
For the
mature
potato-
man.
for
Thank
the
you.
potato? 'Cause it's yummy,
All
or
right,
as
spades is clearly the best
the-
suit for
the-
queen
you know, how
ten. We can
potatoes
agree on
bland
that.
And it just
Yeah.
takes on the,
That one's
flavor,
obvious.
The smoke flavor.
Spades is sort of the best
It's not that
suit
it
for
adds to the
suitedness.
smoke.
No,
Come on.
Ace Jack of
Not
Diamonds
beef,
is by
but
far the
just-
best suited
it's
Ace
just-
Jack.
They put the
So-
potatoes in as well.
Corey and Mike,
As
what's
a
the
side.
call?
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
As a
yeah.
side.
Might have the spades dominated since we don't know what his hand is, and that could mean the king of spades.
But it may not be with another spade, bro.
That's true.
Well, there's a 10 and maybe a
Unreal
king
big
for
fan of
Mike.
Carolina, like the,
We'll
like
see
the
if he snap
vinegars
folds.
and the
Wheel could bet
vinegars
or
and
check.
sauces,
It's heads
dude.
up.
I
It's
love
totally
it.
fine to
Green,
check.
It's
spicy
reasonable to bet too, though, as
I
you're
like
saying.
mustard sauce, too.
Vinegar. I love a mustard sauce, yeah.
And Mike gives a little
I don't know how to
look-see
make
and
any of that
doesn't
stuff,
look like
but
he's
it's
folding.
good.
So king of spades very much in play.
I got him on king 9. That's where I'm going with this.
If you're just having friends around, what do you make?
Time to start checking Wheel, I guess, is going to charge all the draws.
There are many. You block some of them with
He's
the
also,
queen.
he's also block betting here. So he's really not charging the draws. He's
Nope.
just block betting.
He's just trying to see a cheap river.
What's that?
And Mike doesn't love his hand enough to want to put in any more
Mike
money.
has the king of spades for sure.
Dunes Berry.
Will Wheel bet $80 again?
I think he will. Or no, he's doing the
Oh.
fake.
Yeah, he's going to check for sure,
Yeah,
right?
this is one of Wheel's moves. He loves doing that move.
Better just go longer ways.
Yeah.
Pork's not cheap.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm really thinking about it, but I'm always checking.
No, it's like
That's the Wheel move.
I know you've been struggling with
Oh, there's the check.
He's really perfected that move.
And Mike checks it back. Let's find out if he's got the king.
fucking pork snack.
It's the
Yeah.
king of spades.
Is it king 9?
Get out of here.
It's king 8 or king 9.
King 8. Okay.
Yeah, I like seeing
Goes a long way.
They just got like that
Fucking-
extra piece of
That Wheel move is really just art. He's like, because I'm saying it, I'm like, I know this is what Wheel's gonna do. I've seen him do it a million times, but then he really kind of convinces me every time a
I know.
little bit with the way he reaches for the
It's
chips.
good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Oh, you know too much.
I wonder if Wheel was calling a river bet there. I mean, all the draws did miss.
Yeah, I don't know.
Would have been thin.
Me? Usually, like all the trims that I put off, cut off the ribs.
I think you can pretty comfortably bet King Queen as
Yeah.
Mike there.
I think so.
Bags? I mean, usually it's like a cup or two.
All right, we know which
Whoa.
card Danny might have.
Eggs.
We're measuring in handfuls.
35.
Yeah, scoop. We're measuring
Or maybe
scoops.
not.
Yeah.
Maybe Mike has it. There's a 3-bet from Mike.
Nothing like baked beans and a golden shower.
Danny never folds.
How could he fold? He put money in the pot.
Right. So we can know that already.
Good luck, Mike.
Well, the King of Clubs on the flop.
Somebody hit that.
Somebody might have the King of Spades.
One of these two guys almost certainly has the king of spades.
Check.
Mike is continuing.
But Mike would continue.
He would.
That's just so Mike.
It's very Mike of him. Danny could have a lot of stuff.
Ooh, what a sexy card.
If you have King X of Spades, yeah, that's a pretty nice card.
Except you were already probably winning. And
Yeah,
you might not
you
be.
might lose now. That part is bad.
Mike does not have to continue. Chooses to continue now. So Mike unlikely to have the king of spades without another great card with it, right?
Yeah, he might have King Queen with both spades. He could.
He could. He might just check it back.
He could have Ace King.
Danny's going to fold. Mike looks shocked.
Did I just win a hand against you?
He's going to show it?
Possible?
No.
So
Almost.
he pushes back.
He was just shocked to win a hand against Danny. That's why it was shocked.
Ah.
Clearly,
We're shocked too, Mike.
Yep.
If Danny doesn't bluff you, you
So
got
that
a
place
chance.
Botto's I was telling you about, they have this,
The
this
dynamic.
meal that I always get. It's
Isn't
called
that
a
Danny's
Yeah.
nickname?
barbecue
That's right.
parfait.
Danny's the
And it's
dynamic,
like-
and
I mean,
Dan
it's
Ross
kinda
is
like a
the
big
culture.
cup, a layer of mac and cheese, and then a layer of those crispy onion straws,
Oh, yeah.
and then topped with brisket. So you get a big scoop of all three, and it's
Dear
Dude,
Lord.
that sounds like a smash.
it's
No
cheap.
calories
It's
in
only
that.
like
That's breakfast.
Danny has a hand that is better than aces for Danny under the gun.
You said
King
it's
Jack
based
of
on
Hearts.
Aladdin?
it's across from the Aladdin Theater, like you know Powell, where that
Fold.
that AMPM is.
I know Aladdin. Is that where they played Deep Throat for about 25 years?
That's the one.
Looks like we got a call from
Yeah, I
K6 with the
know.
ace of diamonds. Dan Ross makes the call as well.
Is that it?
Ken is kind of priced in here, but he's going to let it go.
The
Reverse implied
don't
odds.
even know what I'm talking
Wheel,
about.
I know the
As king and 8
Wheel,
were
that's
both
the gas
dominated, in
station with
fact.
the bathroom where you got your first golden shower.
There's the ace. K6.
And there's the gut shot for Danny with the backdoor royal draw.
I know that AMPM.
Of course, Dan Ross with middle pair.
65.
No, this is famous career.
That's a raise.
Yeah, K6 started the hand quite short, so he went all in. I think we'll see a call from Danny here.
Probably.
You want me to call? I have king high.
It's up to you.
Exactly what you're talking
No,
about.
you.
So for 25 years
if you have king
running,
high.
they
Oh,
play.
30 years.
If you have king high,
Deep throat.
Gotta love Danny. Do you want me to call? I have king high.
I think he was honestly going to
Yeah.
honor whatever K6 said.
I think
there.
so too.
Need
suck out
hearts.
on me.
Well, you definitely want the
Yeah,
call
but
if you're
that's
K6 when Danny has
Yeah.
king high.
They stopped.
I know, once they stop running.
Surprisingly, only
Yeah,
You
73%.
had no reason to go back to the 11.
Pretty good now, though.
Just a 10.
88% now.
Oh,
And you hold.
Another card.
At least switch it for a
It'd
swap.
be nice if every time I played against Danny, he would ask me what I wanted him to do before he acted.
And told you what he had.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, totally. I know.
Danny, if you're listening to this,
Five of hearts.
Yeah,
you're
man,
still
man.
alive.
It's just a request,
Is that
you know?
right?
Is that right?
Oh, 10 minutes.
All right.
How many times have you seen
Dan
that
Ross
movie?
really splashing that straddle in.
It's because he's cool. Doesn't give a shit.
His names are in the credits. What do you mean?
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if Wheel had
Hey,
was
easy.
in one of those movies before.
I'd like to see some home videos from the 60s and 70s.
Hold up, guys. We got a button straddle.
Oh, excuse me.
Small
My
blind
bad.
folds.
Danny with king queen. I'm almost certain we'll see a raise.
Raises to 75.
Korean Mike really clutching those cards tight.
Ooh,
Yep.
he's got good ones.
Time for a 3-bet.
He is just 3-bet Danny already in this orbit, so he might get some action. I mean, I expect he would get action
Yeah, he's
from
getting action.
most of Danny's opens.
Just always getting.
Ooh,
Dan
and
Ross in an interesting spot here.
He's probably noticed that Mike is 3-bet quite frequently.
Yep.
Might be thinking about a cold 4-bet here.
I like the idea of it. Looks like he is.
And it is an uncomfortable spot for ace-king suited immediately.
Raise to 700.
We're
Fold.
effectively Dan Ross is stacked deep, so 2.4K. I guess we're about the same stack.
Yep.
How do you proceed?
I mean, it's cheap enough to just call, but you want to see all 5. You can't fold.
It just
right?
sucks when you get snapped by aces.
know.
It's just the worst
I
feeling.
know.
No limit hold'em, man.
I know. These are rough.
Some players, pros even, can't handle the swings.
He does go all in,
All in.
and he
that's
doesn't get snapped, and he's thrilled.
a gut-wrenching feeling for Dan. I don't think he's actually going to consider
No
calling here.
chance. No chance.
He's getting
Ace
2 to
Jack?
1,
Come on.
but that's not good enough with ace jack. He lets it go. That is a
one.
nice no showdown win for Mike.
He's essentially
$5.
always dominated. I don't think Mike's moving in with 10s.
No, I don't think so.
And I guess maybe Mike, I don't know if Mike has the ace-5 suited speed there, but most players don't after they've been cold 4-bet
Yeah.
to move in there when they don't have to at all in a cash game. You're just not going to see that very often, except
That's a new unit
the
of
very, very best and craziest players.
It really sucks to be Dan Ross there. You know, you
Yep.
see the spot, you think it's a viable spot, and
Seems
then
like
you're
a
like,
good spot.
when I take those spots, I'm like a little bit proud of myself. I'm like, yeah, I saw the spot and I took the spot. And then sometimes it just goes like that, and you just hate it.
You know, if it didn't always go, if it always didn't go like that,
Yeah.
if it was safe, you know, it wouldn't be a big deal to take the spot.
Right.
I use that reference just so I know where to go.
Queens for K6.
Wow,
And he
it
just
called.
flats.
That's fascinating. To be the kind of player though who has that play in his arsenal, the cold 4-bet with ace jack in that
Yeah.
spot in the cash game, means it means a lot for your prospects though.
It
Right?
means
for your
you're-
future play.
At the very least, you can be tough to play against.
Absolutely.
We're going heads up to the flop.
K6 very sneaky. This queens. And oh my goodness.
What a flop.
My.
That's a dream flop for Mike. K6 doesn't hate it either with the open ender.
50.
Doesn't love the king out there, obviously.
Raise to one.
But he did raise anyway, and I think you just move him in and don't worry about it if you're Korean Mike. He's only
Yeah.
got 380 back.
And the SBR is such that both players should not mind getting it in here.
Yep. This is very much above average flop for ace deuce of clubs.
Crazy.
Oh, the 5 and the 4 clubs. Oh, and he just calls.
Interesting. I don't think he's going to get paid too often on clubs now.
Yeah, and there you go. There's the club.
Ultras.
He checks. There's the check back immediately. Maybe a straight card can come? Nope. Can he even get called here?
It's hard to imagine a hand that queens can beat at this point
Wide.
that would take a line that now shoves.
Good
Whoa.
God, that is a
Thank you.
big crown on the rocks.
You pour a drink like the Tillicum.
Holy shit.
What hand could
Never been-
you beat with queens
No,
here?
this
I
is-
can't even
this is
imagine it.
I mean, I don't know why ace jack would feel any reason to do this.
Was that
Yeah.
the Aladdin?
And if ace jack ain't going to do it, I don't know what is. Meaning that you can beat.
Good night, Wheel.
K6 might be
I
reeling a
know
bit. It's
you're-
been a bad session.
That is a
Hard to
big
think
crown.
clearly in a spot like this. He finally got a big hand.
It's got
It's
color.
true.
Yeah.
I was going to say he underrepped it, but he did raise the flop and got called. And on that board,
Remember the
I don't know that you're
Tillicum?
underrepped anymore.
Remember
Oh, yeah.
the Tillicum?
This is a good
Oh, you
fold.
know
That's a
the Tillicum.
good
Yeah.
fold.
Love
Yeah.
that
We can
spot.
see it easily
Yeah,
from
it's
the booth
gone.
here, but it's hard to do in the moment, especially when you haven't
Across
been
from
winning.
Jesuit High
Yes.
School.
What is it?
And you're
If
short,
there's
and you just
bar,
want to put that last little
Like
chunk of
last
money
Yeah.
in.
ball kind of bar.
Yeah.
But that's
Oh,
300 real
usually a
dollars,
big
you know?
bar for
Yeah.
flat side.
Oh, cool.
Like
It
not
wasn't
far
that
from the
divey.
Dublin bar. Not far from the Dublin pub. Like the last 20 years, it was pretty divey.
Yeah. But it was pretty famous.
Oh yeah, big
Is everyone chewing
great
gum?
fours.
Premio is. K6 is.
It's where you fall asleep.
All the
in
cool
back of
people
your
are
pickup
chewing
Yeah,
gum.
just, maybe it's
Got
tobacco.
home the next
That would be
morning.
cool.
If Creamer just spits right in the middle of the felt,
You do
that'd be
that
amazing.
shit these
He's like,
days.
there was no
Uh,
cup
You're
around.
gonna do right for that shit these
And
days.
if he spoke in that kind of voice,
Yeah.
that'd be
Your
awesome
car
too.
with keys.
Yep.
Fold.
There was no cup around.
Fold.
And he twirled a pistol.
Call.
I love pocket aces. You know, stuff like
I
that.
love pocket
Load of
aces.
keys.
Things I imagine Gremio might
Classic
say at the
poker
table.
player
False.
phrase.
You're in the car with
Call.
keys.
Fold.
Like you can
Can't-
lock
No, the
them.
cars
You
have to be in
You
the
can
back.
throw them in the back seat.
Yeah.
He's
you can
calling
put 'em in
the
the back.
raise from the small blind with 8-6
have
off.
to be-
Have to be in
Apparently.
the back
All right.
seat.
It's like a real thing.
It happened.
Yeah.
There's the 8. And there's the queen.
And nobody hit. So, wheel still ahead.
Gut shot and backdoor flush draw for Caremio. Does not decide to continue, interestingly enough.
Could definitely bet there.
Kind of messed up because if you think
Ken
about
could
it,
have bet also.
the person
There's
who
a 9 for
decided to
Caremio, and
raise
he
off the
whizzes into the lead.
He wheezes into the lead.
Whizzes.
Whizzes into the
to
lead.
give that
He,
person an
Wheel's
ace.
going to bet. Caremio now shares a gut shot
Yeah.
with Ken,
I agree.
I'm with you.
Caremio, though, also has the best hand,
which is nice.
which is nice.
Ken's going to overcall. That's
My
good
mini
news for
bit.
Caremio in
All
most
the time.
cases.
Yep.
If I was too drunk to drive.
It's not a great card for anybody, so I think we might just see a check through.
Well, if it checks to Ken, he could decide to take a shot here.
He could.
He blocks Jack 10.
Caremio is going to make a little.
He's bluffing
He's
with the best hand.
yeah.
but
I guess he's trying to
bluffing.
get a queen to fold.
He's trying to get Ken to fold a better hand. I think
Yep.
is what it is.
Thinks Ken has a weak queen or a better 9.
I guess Wheel could have a queen also. Either one of those guys could have a queen, and he's just
I
like.
fold. This is no good. Show one.
Turns out you had it. You had it all the way, Caremio. By all the way, I mean on the turn and the river.
Yeah,
When you were
that's the
done
way.
seeing
That's all the way.
Okay, I'm told that they have
That was
fixed
the funniest
the
part of this
King of
story.
Spades
You know,
issue.
if you're lying to
He
me,
had to get
Yeah.
it
if
as
you're
fast
lying to
as
me,
I was
possible.
running this
Uh-huh.
whole game for a while. I was
I'm
like,
just gonna
5,000.
tell you I'm just gonna say it like that.
Wow.
You draw your own conclusions.
It's about $5,000.
I do like drawing.
And
No,
I
you
have
don't.
this little like coffee table, so
I like
fanned
drawing
it out.
45.
It
cards.
gets all fanned out, and then
Oh, like in
the
drama,
roommate
huh?
of
Yeah.
the person who
In
owned the
draw
house,
games.
She comes down and she just
Also, I like
randomly-
art.
She was kind of a
and making it with
so
pencils.
I don't think that's true.
randomly asked
Pencil
Will
art.
to come up to
No,
her
I don't-
to
I
look
don't
at
think
the
so.
dog.
Pencil art's
He goes
pretty
up
big.
to her room to look at the
Yeah.
dog. and he
I don't
comes
think-
back
I don't know.
down.
I don't think
He's
so.
just like, see you guys, and he's walking out the door. I'm like, Will, you still got this $5,000.
I wasn't walking out the door.
Button strap on the buttons. and
See you guys. Will you leave me 5,000 a night?
hold. Hold.
There's the ace jack again. Cost him $700 last time.
Are
Is
we
what
doing
Caremio's
better
thinking.
with
Yeah, of course he knows he has ace jack. You can tell.
Danny's thinking about it.
Because he has cards.
Oh, he folded. We do have the straddle on, which is why Dan made it 60.
Loose wires.
Danny, ace-9 just lets it go. Good job, Danny. You did it. Folded the worst hand. Even Korean Mike.
Gets it all the way through
Can we
with
go
the
back to
ace
the
jack.
old
I'm
cards
surprised
that
Korean Mike folded the jack-6 suited on the button
Yeah.
for 40 more.
No blinds to 3-bet behind you.
Yeah.
Were they all able to be re-registered at break time? Or?
Korean Mike has been crushing the souls of these players, so who am I to question him?
Except for when Danny bluffed the crap out of
You
him.
want me to start announcing
Oh,
what
yeah.
the hand is before I play?
If you could have just found the call button.
That was a tough spot.
Super tough. Super tough
Not even
spot.
like you can't even like bend them hardly, right?
You're not even supposed to really look at them.
You just want to think of it as a $300 deck instead of like a $26 deck. Like a nice deck normally is like $25.
Another button straddle. Seems to be the norm now.
Yeah.
So Mike broke the deck? What's up with
Why
that?
are you
Why'd you do
snapping
that,
your
dude?
cards?
My way.
Call, fold,
You gotta slow down on that monster, buddy.
fold,
Gets me a little amped up.
fold.
It's not Baccarat, dude.
Is it going to be a walk? Nope.
Nope. And it's not a walk because there's a limp from K6.
That too.
Yeah.
100.
Yeah.
Caremio's got a suited hand that's
Very pretty.
has position.
Call.
20 stacked in right now. Yeah.
There's domination everywhere. Double domination.
We got further away, which
Whoa,
I
we sure
like.
did.
I guess I like it. It makes me happy.
I like it when things are small.
Yeah. I feel more like, there's perspective on the world.
Mike is going to continue, and this is probably going to get through.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of a free shot when you bet small here. And if your opponent's missed, it's good equity denial. But it looks like Caremio, with two relatively weak back doors on a paired board, is not going to let Mike get away with it.
Well, it's more Caremio's board than anyone else's,
That
right?
that is true.
And he's in position. He's got those back doors, and let's see if Mike continues or not. Because if he doesn't, it's time to steal.
I'm really loving that further overhead shot.
Yeah.
You can see the stacks and stuff.
Classy.
It looks pretty sick.
There's the check, and I think it's time to fire away.
This is a must fire spot.
Bring out the howitzer.
Or bring out, whatever
Oh,
level
it's
of-
actually a little less than half pot, but that's
I like the sizing. I think you can size up on the river if you get called on certain cards if you decide
if you want to, yeah.
that you should.
I don't see how this is going to continue, though. Mike really cannot just stick around. He can only beat the straight draws and the floats, but I don't think it's enough.
Mike is going to think about it, though.
He is really thinking of it. This would be incredible if he can.
Oh
Oh,
my
my
good-
gosh!
He must have some history with Caremio.
There's the call. It's official.
That is an amazing call.
That is.
Let's see if he can win.
Well, everybody misses the river.
A 5 would not like that card, and that's got to be going through Mike's
True.
head if Caremio bets again.
He checks. 7-8 likes it. 6-7 likes it.
That's true.
Well, thank you.
5-7 likes it.
Caremio is going to go for
Well,
it. If Mike can pull off a
how?
call here, it would be just amazing.
let's see how big Caremio goes. There's 1.1 in there. Is that like 800 and change? We'll find out.
Yeah.
I don't even like sitting by you.
750.
750. How can you find a call here? It's a polarizing board, but
Yeah, for sure.
Caremio would not like it if he had a 5, but like you said, he could also have made a straight.
and even could he find a bet with a 5 sometimes against Korean Mike, who raised pre and then checks the turn?
I think you could. You don't put Mike on too many 7s.
Not too many.
Pocket
Overpairs.
7s, ace 7 maybe.
You'd worry about getting. And he makes
Oh
the call!
my goodness!
He makes the call.
What a
Wait
call.
for the reaction.
Wow.
There it is.
Wow. Nice call, dude. Nice call.
Korean Mike.
That is a shocking call.
Holy macaroni.
That's a YouTube short.
That is really wild. That was an amazing hand. Korea
What,
did everything right to win that pot.
what a play by Korean Mike. That will go down as one of the greatest calls in poker time history.
I think so. I think so.
Technically not wrong.
He called like 1,100 on Turn and River total with Zip and Pip there with just Ace Jack high and on a board
So-
that Caremio really could have had.
Fantastic play from Mike. I don't know if we put it through all the ringer of
Yeah.
technical analysis that it would be a fantastic
Let's not
play.
do that though.
But it might be a player tendency fantastic
Yeah.
play. He might know something about
How
Caremio.
many
Yep.
people have Mongolian?
I think they play together a fair amount at
'cause,
least. I don't know.
what was the guy
When you make that call, it feels like they must play together a fair amount.
Korean Mike is walking on sunshine now. What a call!
Really amazing.
All have like 2%.
And is Cremio tilting with the 8-6 off, calling the cutoff? I'm going to say yes.
I think
He's a
yeah.
little thrown by it.
He took it quite well externally, but inside he's probably burning up a little bit.
And this is where you just hate your life, right? You make the call with 8-6 off, and then the big 3 of it comes in, and you're just like, cool, I just burned money for no reason at all because I'm tilting. Like, how ridiculous.
At least he folded.
Yep.